So here we're going to look at the explosion setup, and it's relatively in depth. There's a lot to this thing. It's pretty old. This was one of the first things I did, so I learned a lot since then. And I'm looking forward to do another one with those lessons applied. But a lot of this stuff I would use again. Absolutely. So basically what I do is I get a noisy particle sim. And so here's, as you can see, here's my emitter. Here are my velocities. So it's these really spiky, broken up shapes. And I have it angled to go up. And so your emitter is the most important part of your explosion. Like whatever you do, it's your emitter. Like that breaks up the initial velocities. That's really where you got to spend the majority of your time if you want a really good sim. It's your emitter. And so this is a particle-based emitter. And as you can see, I'm going to hit play here. And then this is the particle of the fuel. And so this is going to be a fuel-based emitter. And as you can see, I color it. And so I put a lot of, like I do this noisy blast, and then I put noisy attributes on it. So red is going to be fuel, temperature is going to be green, and so it's really broken up. And then I had to shrink it because it was getting quite too big. And then again, I put volume, I turn it into a volume, and then I put noise through the volume. So, and then I cache it out because when you want to sim, you don't want to be calculating this every time. Another thing is, I have the burst, the main explosion for the burst, but then I also make a base. And the idea behind this is when an explosion happens, it like superheats the ground. And so you're going to have a lot of heat and a lot of like smoke, dust, things coming up, and they're going to be stirring your explosion. So it's not just like the fuel or from the explosion. The explosion sort of changes the properties of the ground, and so you're going to have that ground is going to be emitting heat, most importantly, into the explosion. So that is this guy. So it's those two combined. And then what I added also to break it up even more is I added a second one that this is a light smoke. This adds in smoke. So I have a fuel burst and I have a smoke burst, and it's the same deal. It's just it's really noisy, and I do the same thing on it. And this one moves a little bit faster and it has a little bit of smoke. But as you can see, I pretty much copied that same emitter. I set up one emitter I was happy with, copied it, changed the properties, and added it in. The next thing is these guys. These help quite a bit. You see these arms? Those are actually collision objects. And those are right here. And again, I pretty much copy the same sim, I emit from the same point, and I copy on cubes and I turn them into a collision body. And these move quite fast. I have them going a lot faster than the explosion. And so I turn them, as you can see, into just a straight collision. And that's how I get these arms. It works. To me, it works a lot better than velocity. It really breaks up your fluid, and I highly recommend just putting some stuff through your explosion to just tear it up. Highly recommend. And then as you can see, like I copied this from the one emitter. So I put my work into one emitter, I copy it 3 times. And the next thing I found is getting the bounds. I just used this to quickly change, the size of the explosion. So the bounds are quite big. This is a pretty heavy sim. And so those are pretty much my inputs for the sim explosion. So we are all right. So that's at 5 minutes. So this is just the emitter overview. So again, noise, 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 noise on your velocity, noise on your fuel, noise on your temperature, noise on everything. And also the base is really important. Just don't just do the particle burst. You know, think about when that explosion hits. What is it gonna do to the environment? You know, what's gonna happen? So, all right, thank you for watching.